Good evening everyone, my name is Subete and welcome to the channel. And today I have a deck profile to show you guys. This deck profile is the Dueling Dragon deck for the Murakumo clan. Dueling Dragon has been forgotten by many, which is very unfortunate, but still it is the Dueling Dragon. It is the Zanbaku, the guy, the first how would you say, like the leader of Murakumo, because it's the first Murakumo was first introduced in EBO1, and he is from EBO1, the triple rare Murakumo EBO1 guy, you know. So he's kind of like the Draconic Overlord or the Blaster Blade for Kagero and Royal Paladin respectively. So hey, he's the real OG, don't forget that. Not Shirayuki, not Mandara Lord, not Yasue, it's Zanbaku. And this is a deck revolved around the Dueling Dragon. So without further ado, let's start the deck profile. For our starting Vanguard, we'll be playing Fugen, who should be what was his name? Onifundo. Yeah, you can play Onifundo instead, but I play Fugen because Fugen is very universal for the Murakumo clan. No matter what build you build, Fugen can just fit right in. So yeah, Fugen, you probably know the skill. So there you go. For our trigger lineup, we'll be playing 8 stands and 3 crits. No, 8 stands, 4 crits, and of course, no brainer, 4 heals. For our stands, we'll be playing the Dark Spider because counter charging is important. The Dueling Dragon Zenkeki require, if you want to keep using a Zenkeki skill, you have to counter blast every single turn. So counter charging is important. So we have 4 Dark Spiders. For our other stand trigger, we'll be playing Giant Serpent. Giant Serpent is just really good. It's your Shadow Stage boost does not hit, counter charge 1, so charge 1, put her back to the deck and give someone 4k. So she's just really good as a stand trigger for Murakumo. It gives that Shadow Stage pressure, it gives that it replenish your resources, your counter blast and soul blast resource, and of course it's a trigger that goes back to the deck, so it's already like A+ for me. And in the form of offense, we need a form of offense. We're playing 4 crits, of course. I'm playing Cadaver because it's a crit with skill, so there you go. That's the trigger lineup. For our great ones, 3 strike folders, because you still gotta strike. Most of your offense is gonna be coming from your strides rather than Zenkeki or Zanbaku themselves. So 3 strike folders. And next, 4 unflipping perfect guards, because counter blast is important and you gotta need to counter charge. So, and of course with Zenkeki skill, every single turn you gotta counter blast, so you gotta have to manage that somehow. So 4 unflipping perfect guards. Next, 3 Tanbas. Tanbas is just really good in any Murakumo deck, so 3 Tanbas. Settle stage, if a unit does not hit a Vanguard, return a normal unit back to your deck and he gains 3k. It is just really good. And 3 of the Hidden Scroll, Hidden Scroll, no, that's not his name. Tricks Art, yeah, Stealth Beast Tricks Art. You do not have to play 3 of them, really, because all he does is when this guy is placed onto the rear guard circle, if your field has a clone, so 2 of the same name on the field, you can search your deck for a Dueling Dragon card, put it to your hand, choose a card from your hand and put it into the soul, which is probably going to be a Zanbaku, because you're gonna need Zanbaku in the soul to do Zenkeki skill. So all he does is to set up your uh, Zangeki to proc the skill, but still it's not really needed. You can like drop one for probably Dawn Shifter. And the reason why I do not play Dawn Shifter is because, come on, there's a better card out there rather than Dawn Shifter. I just can't get Dawn Shifter to work in this deck. So despite being a Dueling Dragon support, but still, since I have a lot of free space, I will be playing 3 Tricks Art just to get it off quickly. So there you go. For our grade 2 lineup, we'll be playing 4 of the Slicer Wolf, Stealth Beast Slicer Wolf. And the Slicer Wolf skill is when this unit attacks, if you have a Dueling Dragon Vanguard, he gains 2k, so he's an 11k attacker if you have a Dueling Dragon Vanguard. And second skill, on the right side of the rearguard circle, when this unit attacks, if you have a Dueling Dragon Vanguard, and if you have Stealth Beast Step Fang on the left side of the rearguard, he gains another 5k power. So if you have a Dueling Dragon Vanguard and you have Step Fang over here, he will be attacking for 16k by himself. So he's a 16k attacker if you have the field set up right. So he's quite strong actually, very strong. Just like if you boost, and with a boost of a 5k and above, it will be like a 15k shield from your opponent. So very good. 4 of them is a Dueling Dragon support, so why not? The next grade 2 is of course Step Fang. You're gonna need Step Fang to do Slicer Wolf skill. Step Fang skill is counter blast 1 when this unit is placed onto the rearguard circle. If you have a Dueling Dragon Vanguard, you may choose a unit and clone that unit. At the end of the turn, return that clone unit back to the deck, to the bottom of the deck. So it's your typical Murakumo fashion, your basic Murakumo gameplay where you choose a unit, search your deck for that same unit and call it to the rear, and at the end of the turn return that called unit back to the bottom of the deck, which is your classic Murakumo play back in the days before Shadow Stage was a thing. So yeah, Step Fang helps you with cloning, counter blast to superior core, maybe superior core your more boosters, superior core more time bust out. So there you go, Step Fang. You're gonna need him anyways for Slicer Wolf to work. The next set of grade 2s we'll be playing is of course Photoblast. Photoblast is just it's like an ideal ride because it's an 11k, and given the meta nowadays where a lot of things are very rushing, like small pokes with 5k shield guard, 5k shield guard, 9k to 9k, 9k to 9k, but with him grade 2 11k, well, those small little pesky 9ks can't even touch him. And of course he has a restraint where if you have no copy of him onto the field, he can't attack. So that's one thing to take note of for Photoblast. Who doesn't like 11k? And of course our grade 3s, let's not forget our Dueling Dragons. First off, we have Dueling Dragon Zanbaku from the very first extra booster, the comic set. Man, that is very long time ago when Murakumo was introduced. Dueling Dragon Zanbaku skill is he has that pseudo lock thing, Vanguard rearguard ability. If you do not have a Murakumo unit on the field, he minus 2000, which is, you know, kind of suck. But thanks to Cardfight, that will never be, you know. Yeah. Next skill is on the Vanguard circle. If your if your opponent has a grade 3 and above Vanguard and he let me rephrase. If your opponent have a grade 3 and above Vanguard at the beginning of the right phase, he or she must discard 1 if he or she wants to normal right. So that it kind of, how would you say, card blocks break rights, because break right requires you to like kind of like, you know, right on normally doing the right phase. But if he or she want to do that and this guy is on the Vanguard circle, he or she must discard 1 in order to do that right, you know. So yeah, that is Zanbaku. But this is not your ideal, right? To be honest, all he goes for is to be in the soul, and that's it, and the rest is history. You can just use him as a strike forwarder. He's really there to be in the soul. Yeah, that's about it. For Zengekis, he is the main star of the show. Zengeki, Dueling Dragon King Zengeki, not Dueling Dragon. He's the king. His skill is Counterblast 1. At the beginning of your opponent's main phase, if you have Zanbaku in the soul, you may pay the cost. If you do, your opponent's Vanguard will get this skill. The skill is when this unit attacks, you may discard 1. If you do not, draft check this unit, draft check -2. So how this works is, if you have Zanbaku in the soul and it's the beginning of the main phase of your opponent's turn, you counterblast 1, your opponent's Vanguard will get this red text skill. And the red text skill says when the opponent's Vanguard attacks. So when the opponent's Vanguard attacks, your opponent have to discard 1. If not, the attacking Vanguard draft check will -2. So if it's a G unit, it will be down to 1 drive. If it's a normal twin drive unit, draft will be 0. So he or she cannot draft check. So it kind of like pressures your opponent to discard a card and to, you know, get rid of his or her hand size. So it's pretty good. And I've been doing this to my friend for quite a while, and he's kind of like he's really annoyed by it. So hey. And the next skill is on the rear guard circle, counterblast 1 and retire this unit. Search your deck for 2 Zanbakus. Put one of them to the soul and one of them, and call another one to the rear guard circle. And at the end of the turn, the card unit will go back to the hand. So let's say if it's on the rear guard circle, you counterblast 1, you retire the Zengeki. You search your deck for 2 Zanbakus. 1 Zanbaku will go into the soul, and 1 Zanbaku will place onto the rear guard circle. And at the end of the turn, he goes back to the hand. So it's really good if you have if you have 2 Zengekis in your hand. For example, you write the Zengeki, and the other Zengeki you can just call to the rear, counterblast, retire him, and instantly get the Zanbaku into the soul. So yeah, pretty nice. Really helps you set up with your you know, setup for Zengeki's skill right off the bat. So that's it for the grade 3s. And for our G units, because this is the G era, we will be playing, here you go, Shirayukis. Shirayuki is there to set up. How it works out is, like, let's take for example, you have your Zengeki and you have another Zengeki in your hand, but you decided not to do that thing, or you decided not to do the call to the rear, counter blast, and retire, what you can do is use him to strike for Shirayuki skill, search your deck for the hard card, which is him, and call it to the rear. Then you do the skill where you counter blast and retire to get 2 Zanbakus out, 1 to the soul and 1 to the rear. So Shirayuki is just there to help you set up with your plays very quickly. So if there's the scenario where you have no Zengeki in your hand, you have Strike Fodder in your hand, you strike for Shirayuki, clone Zengeki, and Zengeki on the rear guard, use that skill to get more stuff out. 1 to the soul, 1 to the rear, and he comes back to your hand to be a Strike Fodder. So it's very good. Shirayuki is there to really help with the setup. So I'm not sure why I'm playing 2 Shirayukis, but 1 is all you need, but still 2 Shirayukis because I like clone units. It's Murakumo, you can't blame me for that. Next grade 4 or G unit we'll be playing is it's in a mess right now, forgive me. 4 Yasue Gomas. 4 Yasue Gomas is because in the case where you can't call anything, you can call Yasue Goma instead from the G zone. So yeah, he's kind of like your superior. If you, how would you say, say Kagero just burn your field like crazy, and all you left is your Vanguard. You can just strike Goma and call Gomas out as your rear guards, so your stand trigger won't be wasted. So for Yasue Gomas, it doesn't require the hard card, so it's really universal for all Murakumo builds. So there you go for Yasue Gomas. Next, you will be playing Yasue Tenmas, because Yasue Tenma is a good finisher no matter what. It does not require hard card. So yeah, opponent at 5 damage, you think you have the counter blast left, Yasue Tenma, Shadow Stitch for days. There you go. And we'll be playing 1 Shibaraku Buster. Shibaraku Buster skill kind of tarnished by Alfred Saber, but hey, that's the life of Murakumo. Shibaraku Buster is for you to call out a rear guard, probably your hard card, which is probably Zengeki, and give him the twin drive, so when he attacks, twin drive out. But do take note, the unit that gains the drive check have to attack first for the whole battle, because tax, he has to attack first, to do twin drive. If you attack with Shibaraku Buster first, the twin drive or the drive check unit cannot do drive check. So yeah, one Shibaraku Buster. I could have played 2, but I'm poor. Next, 2 Homura Raider. In the case where you have 3 copy units, you can just go for Homura Raider, because why not? It is a restander. So yeah. Next, we'll be playing the GB8, the Mandala Ryou. Mandala Ryou skill is quite complex. I don't feel like explaining it. It's really complex, but it's really easy once you put it into play. So Mandala Ryou, the only scenario where you use this is when you cannot use Tenma. Like say you have no counter blast to use Tenma for, just go for Mandala Ryou. For our G Guardians, 2 Hogan Wings, 1 Shishiyuzuki, and 1 of the new FC, the FCG Guardian. The FCG Guardian is good. The rest of this, meh. but this one is very good. Counterblast 1, G Guardian Flip. She gains 10k shield, and for the rest of the turn, all of the units that's on the Guardian Circle that you place onto the Guardian Circle, if they were to be retired, you may send them back to the deck instead. So when you guard with triggers, the triggers can go back to the deck. Very good. And that's about it for the Dueling Dragon deck profile. Do tell me what do you think of the deck? It's really fun. I have a lot of fun with this deck. It's not a winning deck, it's more of a fun deck, you know, to annoy your opponent, to force discard every single time. So yeah, it's very fun. Do support Dueling Dragon, because nobody remembers Dueling Dragon anymore. So there you go. If you like the deck profile, do tell me in the comments down below, and if you like the video, leave a like also, and if you want to see more of this kind of content, do subscribe, and I will see you guys next time for another deck profile or a match or an unboxing. See you guys then.